57.
Rick Hind on ABC Radio Darwin
It's just beautiful.
and the Northern Territory.
It's 25 past 10 on 1057 ABC Radio Darwin and the Northern Territory. Rick Hind with you. Each week you'll hear from people in the community who are doing their best to keep the Territory moving forward, whether they are making us look sharp in new clothes or making us laugh on stage. They are keeping the Territory, the top end, alive. We call these people our movers and shakers.
There's something about the Territory.
I'm just seeing opportunities for people to grow.
Darwin is this untapped resource.
I love this land. I love this city.
Do it in the Territory. That's the best place in the world.
We've just got to really form our own identity.
These are your movers and shakers.
Darlene Chin is the owner of Attitude for Men, and Shalom Kaa is a comedian and entertainer. Good morning to you both.
Morning.
Darlene, let's start with you. You're a very prominent retail business owner. The V8 Supercars weekend was last weekend. Do you feel the city is pumping, thriving with customers?
Not my kind of customers. V8 Supercars, to be honest. I don't sell black Jim Beam T-shirts. Sorry, I'm really categorising people.
Go ahead. But the dry season must be a busy time for you and retail in the city.
It's the best time for us because people are social and, everyone's trying to put their best foot forward and look a bit better than usual. You can layer a little in this weather. So, and when the black tie functions are on, the charity fundraisers and the good things like that, that's when I see a spike in my business.
Mm-hmm. Darlene, I'll have to talk to you about parking because things are happening in the city at the moment. You've got the Smith Street development.
Debacle.
You've got the changes to parking on Kavanagh Street. I've got to say, I drove down Kavanagh Street on Sunday, and there's the shade structure, which, it's the bit that's meant to grow over the road isn't going so well. But the trees that the council have planted, they're beautiful and provide shade.
Kavanagh Street's looking so much better than it did a few years ago. And the shade structure, the controversial structure, I really like it.
Right. Why?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It just changes the streetscape a little, and that was an improvement. Kavanagh Street was pretty ugly, just that wide open street with no shade. You'd get scorched walking from my shop to here. And
it's cooled down a bit, hasn't it? I mean,
it has.
I don't know how much the shade structure is doing for that, but the whole street is feeling cooler. I'm a little worried if a cyclone comes. I remember a lot of chainsaws on Kavanagh Street and getting trees to survive that. But if we can survive a cyclone, then Kavanagh Street, it's beautifying.
Yes.
And what about Smith Street, Darlene?
Smith Street, I went down Smith Street on Saturday, went to have a laksa, and what a shame for those traders and business people along there who have been suffering for, too long with that roadworks happening. No fun for them. I'm glad I'm not one of those businesses because, this is our peak time.
Yeah.
If we can't make the good money now, there's sometimes no buffer zone to get you through the build-up and the wet season when there's fewer customers. So, now's when we need to make our rainy day money, literally rainy day money.
Yeah, I guess it's tricky because a lot of works can't really happen in the middle of the wet season, but It does seem like it's unfortunate timing for such a prominent road to be so affected for so much of the drive.
Yes.
Yeah.
And council now have some plans afoot to trial tiling the footpath on Nucky Street as a beautification measure. And I'm a bit nervous about that because that will mean closing off the street in front of my business and, being a NIMBY. Yeah, I don't really want the eggs to be broken in front of my business to make the omelette, It's tricky.
It is really tricky, and a lot of retailers, you've been doing this for a long time, is foot traffic. You've got to have people who can get to your shop. Yeah. Shalom, you're a performer and comedian. You're always putting on a show somewhere.
Always.
How much do the people of Darwin just love a show?
They do. And look, I think one of the things is great about having been here for 10 years It's not just about putting on a show. As an artist, it's also about being available and vulnerable. And as a comedian now, as I started a singer and an actor, but this is now, as a comedian, you have to write about you. It doesn't work the other way. I played characters and I've sung other people's songs, but this is about me. But Darwin, if you show Darwin love, they'll show it back.
Mm-hmm. How have you found that? Because you're involved in the Darwin Festival, you've been involved in the Fringe. These festivals, how important have they been in developing your performing career?
I would never have done a cabaret show or a comedy show without Hannah from Darwin Fringe Festival saying, "You're a good artist, what have you got?" And I gave her a title. That's all I had as a title, which is Purple Plastic Māori. And this year, 6 years later, after being here for 10 years, I finally have a Darwin Festival show with my name on it at the Impact Sunset Stage.
Exciting.
It's very exciting. Like, it feels... I've been on Liz Travaskis's top-notch Territorian, but this also now feels very top-notch Territorian to have a show, and we've called it Homecoming this time because this is where it started. So they've been instrumental, but also I feel like the recent... so Kate Fell, the artistic director, has also just brought her version of what locals should be doing in the Territory.
Yeah, Hannah was speaking into that microphone and she had another guest with her, and they sort of organised a Fringe show live on the radio, and it just says, give it a crack.
Yeah. And I would never have done Melbourne Fringe and Sydney and other fringes without having that very first start from this really important local artistic community.
Mm. Darlene, I've seen you mention the $1 Million Fish, which is a big promotion that gets a lot of attention. And that is trying to draw people to the Territory to catch a barramundi. But you have a suggestion for returning Darwin kids. Can you tell us about that?
I have two things. I would really love the $1 Million shirt competition. Don't you think? And they could come in and maybe one of the shirts in my shop would have a $1 million tag on it.
I'll wear one. I will wear one.
Shalom's shirt is a kaleidoscopic rainbow.
It looks like $1 million, doesn't it?
And I didn't go to I went to St. Vinny's, it was $5.
Someone paid big money for that shirt. For Territory kids, being a returned Territory kid, when I was not living in Darwin, I never dreamed I would come back to Darwin. And circumstances, encouraged me to come back. And here I am 33 years later. And I just feel like I know other returned Territory kids who have come home from living wherever, overseas, interstate, and they come back and are doing great things. And like I was saying earlier, it doesn't mean that the kids that never left are no good. It's just that I feel like there are so many Darwin kids living interstate now. I just hear of my friends, their children are all living somewhere else. And we want them to come home and do cool things here. Bring some of that Melbourne flavour back to Darwin and make your hometown better and give people more reasons to stay or to come back. Do I explain that very well?
I feel like, can I add to that? Maybe we make these kids ambassadors for Darwin. That wherever they are in Australia, they're an ambassador. They'll come back. Yes. They'll go back again. They'll come back. Let's have ambassadors around the country because people love Darwin. But you still speak to people down south. Go, oh, what's Darwin like? Yeah,
I know. A lot of people say that, don't they? What's Darwin? When I was moving back to Darwin from Melbourne, people would ask me all the time, "What's Darwin like?" And you can't explain it. No. You have to have been here to understand it. You don't have to have lived here, but you have to have been. My best friend in the whole world is in Darwin at the moment. She currently lives in Vietnam. She's doing cool things there. And, I would love for her to come and live in Darwin again.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be great? Hopefully she's listening now. And...
it can be tricky to draw Southerners here, and as you say, sometimes people get here and they don't cope often with the weather. It's just, yes. I'm not built for the tropics. I've heard that plenty of times, and those people quickly depart.
Yes. So the big hurdle is already dealt with, because if you're getting kids to come home, they already know what they're up against. You know, the weather's not going to be as scary for them.
So how do we make this happen, Darlene?
Oh, just put it out there. I think we need to just talk about it a bit more and maybe encourage people to come home. And doesn't that then encourage their parents to stay here into their older age? Because the kids and then the grandkids are here.
The kids have come home.
Yeah.
Yeah. And grandparents in town. It's an anchor for you. Yeah.
Darwin really surprised me, because honestly, I used to come home and think, oh my God, it's so sweaty. And living here now, I don't want to live anywhere else. Such a great community. I love it here.
Yeah.
And I think it can really surprise people if they gave it a crack to come back to Darwin. And, you know, there's so many things I feel like, God, I wish I was 10 years younger and I could... There's so many opportunities here. There's so many things that I would love to do right now, except I feel like, I'm too old for that now to start something new. But, wow, there's so many great opportunities. And if you just do things a little better, you can make a big difference.
Yeah. Shalom, you talk a lot about opportunities, the opportunities you've faced here. And you also travel interstate quite a lot to perform. How do you describe Darwin to people who haven't been here?
Oh, look, I get very territorial. Oh, it's freezing. It's freezing at 22 degrees. But also, like, I actually technically live now at the moment between Melbourne and Darwin. I'm visiting with family a lot more these days. But and now, as an artist, I need to also then expand beyond Darwin. But this is my home.
Right.
So is Melbourne. So is my heart.
Yeah.
Someone asked me recently, where do you want to be living in 6 months? Out of a suitcase. But this, as a touring artist, and that's the dream. But this place, I never expected this to be my home, and to love the dry season, and to love even more the build up and the wet season, and to brag about it to Southerners. So I tell people, this is the place of opportunity. I came here a pub singer. Never expected to be an award-winning comedian, let alone directing a Shakespeare play. This is the place that if you want to try something, it's a shallow pool sometimes, you'll likely be picked.
Yeah.
I'm the person that will be at an auction and put my hand up because I'm so used to it now, because the opportunities are so plentiful here.
Yeah. And if you turn up to something, you might get volunteered for a prominent role because you're the person who's there.
I teach drama, and I tell the kids, do anything. Go and do anything, stage manage, sweep the floor. If you're there, the opportunities will present themselves. And that's happened for me.
Mm-hmm. Certainly I've seen that, in the last 30 years or so that I've been back in Darwin, is you meet people who have been sent up to Darwin to manage the Darwin office. Mm-hmm. And it's just like the greatest springboard for your career, because you don't have to specialise. You get to do everything. Mm. And so your breadth of experience is so much better. That makes you more desirable for other markets. But we don't want to export them anymore. We want to keep them
here.
You
want to keep them here.
Yeah.
There's got to be,
isn't it?
I mean, you have talked about how there are just so many awards nights. There are so many awards nights in the top end. So somehow we could just... This person has returned. This person has returned.
The award.
You give them a medal just for that. But yes, the Returned Darwin Kids Awards incentivise people to come back and have a crack at that business or that great idea that they have. And you can try it here in the baby pool and... then, take that to the world.
Yeah, and keep coming back. I mean, for me, it's about I will always come back. I can't live here all the time as an artist, but this is home. I keep coming back. That's as much as I can do.
Yeah. And you should constantly complain about the weather to Southerners at this time of year. I was on a conference call last Wednesday. I was the only person who didn't have a scarf on, and I complained about what the temperature was, and people just... They were green with envy.
Yes, or grapeable.
Grapeable, yes.
Yeah.
You're listening to 105.7 ABC Radio Darwin. Rick Hind with you this morning. Our movers and shakers are Darlene Chin, the owner of Attitude for Men, and Shalom Kaa, who's a comedian and entertainer. Darlene, I didn't realise until today that you grew up in a service station.
Oh, yes. Yes. So, sitting around at MVR for too many hours is a rite of passage for us. My parents owned petrol stations and, workshops fixing cars. So, yeah, I did grow up at MVR. And it just never got any better, did it?
No, no. There are so many jokes about how terrible the MBR is everywhere, and
it's real.
It's real.
Yeah. So no, that's where I learned my customer service techniques. We grew up pumping petrol, cleaning windscreens.
Back in the day.
Yes, and I missed that.
Leaded petrol.
Yeah. Pumping tyres up. And I had a customer that used to come in just every day to get her tyres checked. You think, really, lady, you're killing me.
Yeah.
But you have to smile,
right,
and be nice, and that's stood me in good stead now for fashion retail.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, fashion retail has been transformed by the internet. Maybe like no other form of retail. You've got big box department stores, and you're trying to sell people a high quality product on a main street. That sounds hard. Is it hard?
Some days are harder than others, like any job or any business, I guess. I joke about it now, and I say, I keep doing it because I don't know how to do anything else. But I really love it. And it's in a town like this where everything's so casual, it can be a bit tricky to try and raise the dress standards a little. But no, I really love it. And I have a great team who have really embraced that higher end of retail. And certainly it can be hard because there's not a very big market here for dressing up. You can get a great shirt like that at Vinnie's. Well, it's killing me.
You still have a coffee machine in your shop?
Sorry?
Still have a coffee machine in your shop?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Not everybody knows this.
Oh, I know, but I don't want to be stealing business from people who make coffee for a living. Yes. Although I'm planning a little, maybe a little pop-up event with Pippa Ainsworth from the Trader Cafe.
Yep.
A returned Darwin kid. She deserves an award. We're sort of toying with the idea that she might do a little Trader pop-up upstairs at Attitude for Men in the next little while. Just for fun.
I wore a peppermint-coloured romper yesterday.
Of course you
to
did.
Supercars.
Right.
There's no reason. There were a few looks.
He likes to be noticed.
It was I do like to be noticed, but also, why do we not have the fashions on the field at Supercars? This we could do. This can be done.
Oh,
Come on. Come on, let's push the envelope. I mean, the Chief Minister's tent does not have to be the only tent that has fashion. Surely there are others. Rick,
yeah,
come on.
Here's my question, Darlene. Do you have going out thongs? Because I do. Or would you not be seen dead in such attire?
Do I personally have going out thongs? No. I have had. I have some Birkenstock thongs that it could qualify as a little bit better than your pluggers.
Right.
But are they black, your going out thongs for like black tie things?
Oh, yeah, like that's as formal as I get. I'm still in a pair of slides, so I can actually show you.
Slides?
Yeah, so these are German sandals, and these.
Oh, sorry, you can't name
That's
names.
okay. You can. I can't.
I have a huge range of those. They're great.
Yeah, but putting on socks, that just sounds like.
But it's cool to wear socks with your Birkies, right?
Oh, is it?
All the backpackers are doing it.
Oh, I really
It's
wouldn't
cold
know.
weather.
Look, what we have here, I'll have to take a caller, is Ben. He's a returned Darwin kid.
Yay!
Ben,
Good on you.
you're in Coconut Grove. Tell us about your story. Why did you come back? What's the opportunity for people who do?
Hey everyone. Hey Shalom. Hi.
Hey, Ben.
Look, I'm a recently returned artist, NIDA graduate, actor, musician, and what brought me back was elderly parents and the care that you obviously have to do when you get to a certain age. And again, having opportunities as well that potentially could bankroll the reasons for moving. So I've got to thank Corrugated Iron for providing me a job there, and still continues to provide work and igniting creativity in all young Territorians like myself, who was a young person, who went to Corro, who went and studied acting, who came back, and now is the producer for programs there. And, we need people like Shalom who, are very inspiring to come and teach our young people. So they go back and then they come back and they look after their parents. So it's really, family is what really is the foundations of the reasons why I came back to the Territory.
But you also have these incredible institutions in the top end, which are very different, I think, from how things operate elsewhere and interstate. I left the Territory as an adult and came back, partly because there were just so many more opportunities for my children here. And there's no queue. You want to go to Corro? You sign up. You want to be in the NT Music School? You can.
Yes.
There's no, there's a 6-month waiting list. There ain't.
Oh, maybe we don't want people to come back then. The queues will get longer.
Stop it, darling.
So we've got to have a happy medium, Darlene,
Yes, we
between
do.
everybody coming here, because it's the greatest place on earth, and everybody coming here and making it too crowded.
But bravo to Ben for looking after his parents, because
Yes.
that is a big job, and I'm doing that now as well.
Also, the way he looks after Corrugated, you do an amazing job at Corrugated Iron, Ben. We love you.
Thank you, Shalom. I love you too. Yeah, and I just also want to support the men's fashion and raise the calibre of men's fashion in the Northern Territory.
Oh, good. I look forward to seeing you.
Have you not seen them?
Well, Ben, just make sure to keep dressing a fancy. And thanks so much for your call on 1300 057 222.
I will.
Well, there we go. A returned Darwin kid calling in for movers and shakers. There's just one more job that you've got to do, Darlene and Shalom, and that is choose between Roxette, which is Joyride.
Roxette.
You don't need to hear the other choice.
I mean...
It could be, the next choice could be an 80s, totally right up my...
And mine.
It is 80s, but I don't know if it's right up your alley. It's Motley Crue.
Oh, no.
Kickstart My
Yeah, no, Roxette.
2 hard votes for Roxette. That might actually be enough to get it over the line. Darlene Chin, the owner of Attitude for Men. Shalom Kaa is a comedian and entertainer. Thanks so much for bringing up movers and shakers for today. Here is the winner of You Decide. Sajan, you have little faith. They've won. Awesome, guys. Thanks so much.
That was super fun. Thanks, Rick.
Yeah, it goes so fast.
Yeah.